Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the NUS Admissions Sharing webinar. I am Grace, and I'll be your MC for today. Thank you for taking time to join us. So the sharing you will hear this morning will be presented by the Dean of Admissions, Professor Goh Say Song, and after his presentation, there will be a Q&A segment with Prof Goh and two NUS students. So if you have any questions, we greatly appreciate if you could please write them down in the Q&A tab below, and we will answer them towards the end of the webinar. Thank you for your patience. So without further ado, let's begin the webinar. Professor Goh Say Song is the Dean of Admissions at NUS. He joined the NUS's Department of Mathematics in 1994 and is passionate about education and has received numerous teaching awards, such as the NUS Outstanding Educator Award in 2009. His research interests include the theory and application of wavelets, approximation theory, and harmonic analysis. So may I now invite Prof Goh to share about the NUS experience, important considerations when selecting your course of study, global opportunities, as well as the process and timeline of admissions application. Prof Goh, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Grace. And a very warm welcome to all of you. And I'm very excited to talk to all of you this morning because I'm going to tell you about the various things that we have to offer at NUS for you as prospective students. Let me get my slides up first, and then we'll get going. So you are now at a very important juncture of your life. You are going to select your university course. And the natural question you will ask is that, what should I study at the university? And what kind of university courses should I apply to? Which university should I apply to? And before I describe all this, let me first highlight to you the current paradigm shift in university education. University education has changed. It's no longer just a paper qualification. It's no longer just an accumulation of knowledge. Instead, what is very important to prepare you for the uncertain future is that we need to integrate disciplinary knowledge and future-ready skills together. At the same time, it's no longer like the old days that 30 years ago, a university education is essentially lecture and tutorial. Nowadays, we use innovative and varying pedagogies for the delivery of classes. And we even have a hybrid of online and face-to-face learning. And of course, now that with COVID restriction has been eased, we are now resorting back to face-to-face learning. But at the same time, we do complement your learning experience with online experiences as well, online materials as well, so that we can take the best of both worlds. At the same time, the world is very complex, and there are numerous things to look at in future world problems that we need to pull together disciplines of different nature. And as a result, a university education nowadays, we're going to provide you with interdisciplinary learning opportunities. And not only that, we want our students to have a global perspective. So we will provide global learning opportunities for you as well. At the end of the day, after a university education, you will join the workforce. And that is where career preparation and internship opportunities, we have incorporated them into the NUS experience too. So these are some of the paradigm shift in university education. And then the key question that comes to your mind, what are the considerations that I should look at when I want to choose a course of study? To answer your question, let me throw back at you two other questions. What is your passion? What is your aptitude? What you're good at and what you are passionate about, they are greatly interrelated. Because if you are very passionate about something, you'll be good at that something. You want to learn more and you get even more passionate about this. And at the end of the day, your first job most likely is going to be related to what you have studied in the university. So being passionate and being good at is going to take you a long way ahead in your working career. So with that in perspective, then you choose a course that you're interested in. And that is where we facilitate your acquisition of knowledge, your acquisition of the skill sets. And most importantly, at the end of your education, we'll provide you with a solid foundation of disciplinary knowledge and future-ready skills. These are not independent things. You can integrate them together, and we will help you to do that. And welcome to the NUS experience. And for those of you who are less familiar with NUS, in terms of university ranking, we are consistently among the best in Asia. We are consistently among the top 25 universities globally. We are a large, research-intensive, comprehensive university. And because of our size, every year we take in more than 7,000 undergraduate students. We are able to offer more than 60 different bachelor degrees programs. We have a very vibrant student life, and we have more than 200 clubs and societies and interest groups. And although Singapore is at one corner of the world, we actually provide global exposure to our students because we have more than 300 partner universities in more than 40 countries. And our students could spend one semester or a short course in the partner university. And our graduates are very employable. At the end of the day, employment is something that we always look at, and NUS is consistently within the top 10 for global employability. So just some background, NUS is Singapore's first and largest university. And because of our size, we actually have been able to have taught generations of architects, doctors, engineers, entrepreneurs, lawyers, writers, scientists, and so on and so forth. And our research also impact lives. And we're just getting started. And if you ask me, how do I summarize the NUS education? I would say the NUS education can be summarized by the 3 C's: customizable, challenging, and current. How we are going to make it work, that is entirely up to you. And the first step is choose an academic pathway. Choose a course that you want to study. And for example, if you're interested in humanities and sciences, you can apply for the Humanities and Sciences course, and underneath you can choose any of the majors that I have just mentioned, and there are also certain direct admission courses under Humanities and Sciences. So essentially you can major in arts and social sciences, or you can major in science. We even have cross-disciplinary programs that actually bring 2 disciplines together. For example, data science and economics. If you're interested in design and engineering are closely related, and you can actually apply to the College of Design and Engineering. You can do a major in design, like architecture, industrial design, or you can do a major in engineering. Our engineering programs are very strong, and if you apply for the engineering course, you can do one of the numerous majors that we have under engineering: biomedical engineering, chemical engineering, electrical engineering, and so on and so forth. We have a very strong business school as well, offering majors in business administration, accountancy, and real estate. Our School of Computing courses are extremely popular. We have 4 different majors under the School of Computing: business analytics, computer science, information security, and information systems. And we're the only university in Singapore that actually have the 3 professional schools as well: medicine, dentistry, and law. We have a music school for students who are very keen on music and for students who are keen on contributing towards the healthcare profession. We have courses in nursing and pharmacy too. And after you have chosen the course of study, what else do you have in the NUS education? Now, let me highlight to you how the NUS education is structured. Essentially, there are 3 components. One component is the major requirements that's related to the course of study that I've just highlighted. One of those. Second component is what we call a common curriculum. It forms a base, it forms a foundation for you to prepare you to do well and to be able to bring the different parts of knowledge together and skill sets together for your major. That is the second component. Then the third component is what we call unrestricted electives. What are unrestricted electives? That means there is no restriction. You can make use of these to do anything that you desire. And with this backdrop of the 3 components, that brings me to the next point that I want to highlight: the 4 key pillars of NUS education. The common curriculum that I've just mentioned, one of the 3 pieces. Now, the unique thing about common curriculum is that it's not just common for the whole university. We actually tailor-made our common curriculum with respect to the school, with respect to the cluster that you're looking at. If you're going to the College of Humanities and Sciences, we have one common curriculum for that college. If you're going to College of Design and Engineering, we also have a common curriculum dedicated for design and engineering. We have common curriculum for computing. We have a common curriculum for business. We make sure that our common curriculum actually fits very nicely into your major. And that is the first key pillar of NUS education. Second key pillar that we have is flexible pathway. You may say, what do you mean a flexible pathway? You have chosen a primary major that comes with a common curriculum. There is this big space of unrestricted electives, the remaining third portion, that you can actually complement your major by a second major. You can complement it by a minor. You can do two minors, or you can take a string of modules that you are interested in. How you want to make it work, we leave it to you. We give you flexibility, and that flexibility enables you to go broad, covering more discipline, or go deep into that discipline. For example, if you are very keen to study mathematics, for example, you want to be a mathematician like myself, then what you can do is that you can actually use your unrestricted elective space and do more mathematics module. On the other hand, if you wanted to be an engineer, again, you can go deep and do certain specialization of engineering. Like, for example, you want your major in engineering is mechanical engineering. You want to go deep with a specialization in aeronautical engineering. You can do that. Use your unrestricted electives. On the other hand, you can complement your major in mechanical engineering with a second major or a minor in physics in the other College of Humanities and Sciences, rather than within the College of Design Engineering. You can cross college, cross faculty to do that. And at the same time, because of this flexibility, you are able to enjoy an interdisciplinary learning experience. And that enables you to enhance your complex problem-solving skills. And at the end of the day, our commitment to the student is not just the 4 years of your NUS education. That is, we are committed to actually to your lifelong learning journey. We have a wide suite of continuous education modules, and you can come back and take modules and do a graduate certificate or even a master's degree with us after your graduation. And let me just highlight some of the key development. I've alluded to some of these already in my earlier part. One of the key development was the College of Humanities and Sciences. That was launched last year. It was a big success, and we actually take in more than 2,000 students last year. We took in more than 2,000 students under the College of Humanities and Sciences. We had two very well-established faculties in the university, Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences and the Faculty of Science. And we brought these two faculties together to form this College of Humanities and Sciences to deliver interdisciplinary learning at scale. And you can imagine the kind of impact that we have. And the curriculum is carefully curated in terms of the common curriculum, major requirements, and then after that, we have this space of unrestricted elective. And you can imagine the kind of unparalleled flexibility that we provide to students. And this year, riding on the success of the College of Humanities and Sciences, we actually merged another two very established schools, Faculty of Engineering and the School of Design and Environment, together to form the College of Design and Engineering. We give students greater choice, greater breadth, greater flexibility for a student-centric curriculum. And this time around, we brought together the strengths of both Faculty of Engineering and the School of Design and Environment. This is again a student-centric curriculum structure. And once again, there's a distinctive common curriculum. And another key development is that in the past, when you apply to the Faculty of Engineering, you apply specifically to mechanical engineering, civil engineering. And now, instead, you apply to the College of Design and Engineering, and you will go straight into the engineering course. And you get to choose your preferred major. And your preferred major will provide you with more opportunities. There will be no further selection. If more students want to do electrical engineering, we will make it happen for you. And so in other words, our commitment is we let you have greater choice. And at the same time, we have created bigger space on unrestricted elective so that you have new learning pathways. You can do a second major, you can do a minor within the college or with another college. That is possible. Another exciting development we had this year, this August, that we have just started in the new semester is what we call NUS College. This is the first undergraduate honors college of NUS that actually enhances your chosen major. You have already chosen a major in Humanities and Sciences, a major in business, computer science, or engineering. Now, at the same time, you want to actually enhance the experience. Rather than taking the common curriculum that we actually had for these respective majors, you can actually replace this common curriculum by the common curriculum of NUS College. What is the difference between this common curriculum? Firstly, this is applicable to more than 50 majors in the university. And at the same time, this common curriculum of NUS College is interdisciplinary in nature. You can imagine that you'll be taking classes with students from more than a large number of different faculties, different perspective, so that it will actually provide you with a wide range of learning experience. NUS College emphasizes on experiential learning opportunities, cross-cultural developmental opportunities, and we had global pathway as part of the curriculum for NUS College. At the same time, it's an immersive educational experience. What do I mean by that? Apart from taking classes, you will get to stay within the premise of the university town on campus for at least 2 years. Stay with students and professors of different faculties together, learning about their different perspective about how to solve complex problems of the modern world. So that is a significant enhancement of the major that you have chosen, and that is what we offer in NUS College. And I've alluded just now at the beginning that you can go beyond a single degree. You can do a double major, double degree, and some of you may be wondering now, there are a few keywords that I've mentioned, and let me explain a little bit more. What is the difference between a double degree, a double major, second major, and a minor? Essentially, the NUS education, typically for a 4-year education, a student would have taken 40 modules. 40 modules. So each year you take 10 modules. One semester you take 5 modules. Now, in terms of the major requirements, the number of modules that you have to take for major requirements is 15 to 20 modules, depending on which major you chose on. And what is a second major? Second major is another area of study different from your primary major, and you can go for to enhance, to complement your primary major. And second major is actually 10 modules. Primary major, 15 to 20. Second major, 10 modules. Minor, 5 modules. So you can imagine that we are reducing the intensity. And at the same time, if you want to do a double degree, then you do 2 primary majors, and that is a double degree. And so, and whether you wanted to do a double major or a minor, or you want to do a double degree, that is entirely up to you. We give you more flexibility. And then at the same time, we also offer joint degrees that is jointly taught by NUS and one of our partner universities. And some students are very adventurous. You wanted to study a bachelor degree and a master degree, one after another. And that is the structure of our concurrent degree programs. And we do understand that actually the transition between polytechnic to university, or transition from high school to university, can be quite challenging. So we want you to learn the way that you want. We want you to actually get used to university life without worrying about the grades, to explore interesting courses. And that's why we have this grade-free first year. So what happened is that at the end of your study, you will have what we call a CAP, which is the equivalent of GPA. And in the first year of study, if you like the grade, you can keep the grade. It can be counted towards your graduation GPA. But if you feel that you could have done better, you are concerned about the grades, don't worry. As long as you pass the module, then this can be converted into a grade-free. It's just a pass-fail option. So this will give you an opportunity to get used to university life and as well as to try out interesting courses without worrying about the grades. Some students want to do research, and especially I think many of you in the audience are actually from the Polytechnic. In the Polytechnic, you already had some experience about doing some research project. Do you get to do research at the university? The answer is yes. At the final year, you get to do research, but it can be much earlier. We have undergraduate research programs. You can do it in second year or third year. Go to professors, go to the lab and say, can I work together with you? And that can be counted as one of the modules or even two of the modules within your graduation requirement. And we also want you to actually have opportunity to customize your own learning. We even provide opportunity for you to design your own modules and get a few friends together, work with a professor, and you can actually design your own module. And this is to allow you to explore the boundary of self-learning. And like I said, we have a wide suite of global opportunities. So make use of this, learn out of your comfort zone so that you can develop life skills, you can expand the scope of learning and challenge yourself. And what kind of study abroad programs do we have? We have the flagship student exchange program. And this enables you to spend one semester or 1 year in one of our more than 300 partner universities. And the beautiful part about the student exchange program is that before you go for your student exchange program, all the courses that you're going to take in the partner universities, you have an academic advisor to work through with you to make sure that all these will be mapped back to your graduation requirement. Second thing is that if you go to a partner university under our student exchange program, the fees that you will be paying will still be NUS school fees, which is significantly lower than what you see in the partner university fees. Now, some students may say that I have other schedules that is a bit challenging for me to go for one semester. You can still experience a study abroad program by taking part in our summer and winter program. Shorter duration, 3 to 6 weeks, take some courses there and you can take it during the summer and winter vacation. And all these can be mapped back towards your graduation requirements. And I want to highlight something very interesting in terms of study abroad program is the NUS Overseas Colleges, the NOC. Now, these are for students with an entrepreneurship inclination. This program started more than 20 years ago. It has been very, very successful. More than 3,400 students have gone through this. And through this process, more than 800 companies have been founded. So essentially what we do is that you go to one of the more than 15 entrepreneur hotspots in the world. And you do an internship at a startup from 1 semester or 1 year. At the same time, take some classes in the partner university and you get the experience firsthand as life as an entrepreneur. And these are the places that we have for entrepreneurship hotspot: North America, Silicon Valley, New York, and it could be somewhere in Europe or the Middle East. It could be in China or even also in Southeast Asia. And you can pick one of these places to go for your NUS Overseas Colleges. But it doesn't mean that you have to go overseas, then your NUS life would be interesting. Actually, our campus life itself is also very interesting. You can actually discover yourself and everything else on campus. And you can make the campus your home. And we actually have 5 different types of places for you to stay on campus. Like the first type is what we call the halls of residence. For those of you with parents who are from NUS graduate, I'm sure they will have fond memories about staying in Shears Hall, Rifles Hall, Yusof Ishak halls. These are the traditional halls of residence. You have a place to stay. There's a rich culture of community work, culture activities, sports activities. So there's a rich tradition of all this. So lots of activities and a place to stay. Make friends with students from different faculties. That is the halls of residence. The second type, which started more than 10 years ago, is what we call residential colleges. You have it in our university town and a couple of other places. Now, the residential colleges, you have a place to stay. You have, again, a rich community with culture and sports activities. At the same time, you take classes at the residential colleges. You take classes that can be counted towards some of your common curriculum requirements. To be more precise, you take 5 modules under the residential colleges. And that is, again, gives a student a different perspective. Learn with professors and peers from other faculties. Then this year, we started NUS College. NUS College, again, a place to stay. Lots of activities, at the same time taking classes. But the classes intensity is much more than the typical residential colleges. NUS College, the common curriculum that it has, we are looking at 14 modules, whereas residential colleges is 5 modules. But some students really wanted a place to stay, but then with less activities, so you can go for our student residences. Student residences doesn't mean that it's a very boring place. It's a very interesting place because we have a rich community of international students there. You can get to make friends from students from different parts of the world. And again, another new addition is what we call houses. And this is a place to stay. And then this also emphasizes more on peer mentorship and also co-creation on the focus on with well-being. So which one you're interested in, that is entirely up to you. There are actually many different things that you can do on campus. You can make friends, and I'm sure you'll find somebody that you are interested, that has common interests with you in terms of arts, culture, community service, or sports. And like I said, we take the employment of our students very seriously. We have a Center for Future Ready Graduates that organizes programs, workshops, and events to prepare you for employment. Bear in mind that NUS this year is 117 years old. You can imagine the wide network of alumni that we have in the university. We have a platform called Connect NUS that actually enables students to interact with alumni in the industry for career planning and job opportunities. At the same time, most of courses incorporates internship opportunity inside. It could be compulsory internship, it could be optional, but all these could be counted towards your graduation requirement. And we have a portal to actually enables you to engage in internship search as well. And so how to get into NUS? Now, my advice is apply. How to apply? And let me talk a little bit more about that. Now, many of you in the audience are actually holding a Polytechnic Diploma from NUS. So our admission policy is actually based on academic merit and meeting the subject prerequisites. And so what we do is that we will be assessed on your academic performance in Polytechnic. And so when you apply, because for those of you who have already graduated from Polytechnic, of course, you will apply with a complete Polytechnic results of 6 semesters. But for many of you are actually in the final year of the Polytechnic, then you can apply with your semesters 1 to 5 results. Some of you may be doing your internship last semester, so you only have 4 semesters of result. You can still apply. And later on, when you have the 5th semester result and the 6th semester result, send it to us. No issue about that. And at the same time, checking the subject prerequisite is important because some of the Polytechnic Diploma has certain courses that requires prerequisite that we need a diploma to be accredited to that course. They are actually 5 different types of accommodation that we have on campus, and halls of residences, residential colleges, NUS College, student residences, and the houses. Now, okay, let's hang on to this slide on about Polytechnic Diploma. So here, and like I said, you can actually apply based on your Polytechnic results. And so there's one key point that I want to highlight to everybody, and that is first choice bonus point. For Polytechnic graduates, and if you present a Polytechnic Diploma, we actually want to actually recognize your passion. On the application form, there's a total of 8 choices. And please put down your first choice wisely. because we will give you your university admission score for Polytechnic Diploma is actually based on your Poly GPA. We'll give you 0.04 points ahead as a bonus point, so that this will actually put you in a good state about getting your first choice. So there's a first choice bonus point for Polytechnic Diploma holder. And then what we have is actually other qualifications that we have. It could be the IB Diploma. Now, IB Diploma, of course, again, is based on academic merit and subject prerequisite. So go to our website, take a look at what are the subject prerequisites for the IB Diploma, and you'll be assessed based on your academic achievement for the IB Diploma. Again, we have a first choice bonus point for IB courses, for students presenting with IB Diploma, and you will get 1 IB point as a bonus point for the first choice. And that first choice bonus point is applicable for courses that do not require interviews. Now, what are the courses that requires interview? Like aptitude-based admissions, architecture, dentistry, industrial design, landscape architecture, and so on and so forth in that list. Now, I know that many students in the audience are actually international applicants. And the international applicants, then what kind of qualifications do you have? Now, actually, we recognize a wide range of international qualification. It could be UK A-levels, it could be American high school, Canadian high school, Australian high school, Gaokao from China, and there's a wide list. And every list that we have here, that there is a specific requirements, and you can visit our website and you can find out more about this. And let's move to the next slide. And then what kind of scholarships do we offer? And actually, what we do is that for all Singapore citizens who have outstanding academic results, strong leadership qualities and potential, and good CCA result, we actually offer 4 kinds of NUS scholarship. The flagship is, of course, the NUS Global Merit Scholarship and the NUS Merit Scholarship. And for those with special talent in sports and visual and performing arts, we also have scholarship for them as well. The beautiful part about scholarship is that it will cover entirely your tuition fees. So no fees needs to be paid, and there's a living expenses, and at the same time is bond free. So it's totally bond free. There's no service requirement. Next slide, please. And then how about financial aid? And apart from scholarship, we actually offer a wide range of financial aid. And our admission policy is merit-based and needs-blind. Now, financial difficulty will actually not affect the way that we assess you. Now, what kind of bursaries do we have? For Singapore citizens, there's actually a very wide range of bursaries that we have. We have the government bursary called the HEB bursary. We have the NUS bursary. For those of you who are wanting to stay in the halls or residential colleges, then we also have bursary for that. For students going to study abroad, we have bursaries for that. And we also have loans. So for some students, if you find that the bursaries you provide is not enough, we also have tuition fee loan and NUS study loan. And essentially, if you want to estimate your expenses for financial needs, you can actually go to our financial needs calculator, and the estimate for annual cost of living in Singapore is about 6,000 Singapore dollars. The cost for accommodation is $4,600. And for international students, there's a certain limited amount of bursaries and financial aid available as well. You can check it out, the details from our website. And going on to the next slide. And I just want to highlight that in this year, we actually enhance our financial aid scheme for full-time Singaporean undergraduates. Now, in the following sense, now we already have NUS bursary, government bursary, but it may not have covered entirely the full tuition fees. So for needy Singaporean students with per capita income of not more than $1,000, NUS bursary will top up your government bursary to provide full coverage of tuition fees, regardless of the course that you study. And we'll make sure that we cover this so that you don't have to worry. For students with lower per capita income that is up to $690, Not only we cover full coverage of tuition fees, at the same time, we provide $4,000 per annum for living expenses as well. At the same time, we want you to have the full suite of the NUS education. That we want you to have an opportunity to go overseas. We want you to have a chance to stay on campus. We have already have bursary schemes available for you in these two aspects, but it may not have covered enough. So for students with per capita income not more than $690, we have what we call the Opportunity Enhancement Grant that provides $10,000 over 4 years to top up the whatever shortfall that we have provided for you for on-campus stay or study abroad exposure. And next slide, please. And the next slide, I think you should be able to see now. Yes, the MOEC tuition grant. Now, what is this MOE tuition grant? Now, the tuition fees that you are actually paying actually is substantially lower than what is the actual fees in terms of full fees. And that is because of the MOE tuition grant. For all Singapore citizens and Singapore PR studying in a university, a local university for the first time, is offered automatically to them. But for international students, actually, we will offer the MOE tuition grant on a competitive basis. We do have substantial number of these MOE tuition grant. To a certain extent, it's a significant tuition waiver for partial tuition waiver for international students. So for Singapore PR and international students, in return of taking up the MOE tuition grant, then what you do is that you need to work in Singapore or Singapore registered company for 3 years after graduation. We will not be specific about where you work at, as long as it's in Singapore or Singapore registered company, that is good enough. And this actually will enable international students to have a much more affordable fees. So in the next slide, let's take a look at the examples of some of the fees structure of the university. So if you look at the fees that we have here, and you look at the different kinds of fee range that we have. And for example, if you wanted to study engineering, design and engineering, the full tuition fees is $38,450. For Singapore citizens, because Singapore citizens already have the tuition grant, then you only need to pay $8,250. But for international students, if you don't have the MOE tuition grant, then you will pay that $38,450. But with the MOE tuition grant, you only paid $17,650. So this is actually a significant reduction of the fees. And so how to apply for this MOE tuition grant? You will just need to check on your application form that you want to be considered for MOE tuition grants, and then we'll consider you accordingly together with your application for admission. And in the next slide, let me just summarize what are the things that you should look out for. Now, what you need to look out for is that make good use of the first choice bonus point, and in that case, choose your first choice course wisely. Second thing to look out for is that we want to have a more holistic admission policy. We want to be able to actually recognize your achievement beyond just an academic grade. Now, we want to be more inclusive. Now, if you have very good academic grades, and if it is not a course that requires interview, we may actually offer you directly. But for some students, you may have other achievement that we can use to complement your grades. So, things that we look out for could be under aptitude-based admission. It could be the ability and interest, your aptitude in the interest course of study, your exceptional talent. So do provide the details under the achievement section and articulate what are the things that you're good at under the achievement section of the application form. And next slide, please. So now, what are the application checklists? Now, in the application checklist, take note of the dates. And for poly applicants, there's an indicative grade profile and subject prerequisite that you can actually find from our website. And then make good use of the first choice bonus point. Show us your strength under aptitude-based admission. And then you can apply. And let me just go through very quickly the various timeline. Now, in terms of applications for admission, so what we do is that admission for poly students, the portal will open on the 1st of February. You can start applying for admission and that the apply for admission at the admission portal. Then to apply for scholarship, there's a scholarship portal. To apply for financial aid, there's a financial aid portal. So you can actually go to these 3 different portals to apply from the 1st of February. 21st of February, take note of the time. This is where the application closes, and then we will start to select the student, also select the student for admission, select the student for scholarship. And from March all the way until the end of May, all these outcomes will be released. And next slide, please. And for IB applicants, it's a slightly different timeline. The IB portal will open earlier, and the IB portal will open in actually mid-October, and you can start applying with an IB diploma. And those international qualifications also actually opens earlier as well, either from mid-October onwards and all the way to next year. Then at the same time, you can, again, it will close at a certain time in February, and then we will consider you and the outcome will be out by the end of June. Okay, let's move on to the last slide. So for the last slide, I think some of the information that if you need more information, you can actually find the information on the website, and you can actually take a scan of the QR code, and you can actually find a lot more information from our website. And I think the screen has frozen on my end again. I apologize for all the technical hiccups, and I think I'll end my presentation here so that I can answer your questions. Yeah. Okay, you can take a scan on the website. On the website, and so it could be go to our website, and you'll find all the information there, and also you can look at inquiries at nus.ask-admissions. You can write in, we'll be happy to answer your question. Back to you, Grace.
Thank you, Prof Goh, for your sharing. We will now move on to the Q&A segment of today's sharing. We have especially invited 2 NUS students, Yan Ling and Bryan, to share with us today. Yan Ling is a final year student majoring in life sciences from the Faculty of Science under the College of Humanities and Sciences. She is a recipient of the A-Star Scholarship and is an alumnus of Singapore Polytechnic. Yan Ling enjoys the organized academic structure of NUS Life Sciences, as well as the flexibility to dabble with various interesting modules and finally choosing her specialization in her honors year. She relishes exploring various NUS libraries and new study spots, as well as bonding with her friends around UTown. Outside of school, Yan Ling's hobbies include model building, cycling, and running. Bryan is a second-year student majoring in chemical engineering from the College of Design and Engineering. He is a recipient of the Singapore Industry Scholarship and also an alumnus of Singapore Polytechnic. Bryan previously resided at Kenridge Hall and is currently a resident at Prince George's Park Residences. He is an active student ambassador and is also passionate about serving the community and has been actively volunteering since 2014 as part of the Grassroots Youth Executive Committee, providing free tuition for the less privileged. So I'll hand over the time to Prof Goh, who will be moderating this Q&A segment together with Yan Ling and Bryan. Prof Goh, please.
Thank you, Grace, and very glad to have Yan Ling and Bryan here with us. And let me first invite Yan Ling and Bryan to say a few words to all of you, and so that you get to know them better, and then we'll answer your questions. Yan Ling, please.
Hi, so I'm Yan Ling. I'm in my final year. I'm in the major in life sciences, and previously I was from Singapore Poly, so I took a diploma in biomedical science. So it is after my poly, I applied for life sciences, and I don't stay in any accommodations within the uni, and also being in the Office of Admissions is my current CCA. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. The why Yan Ling she talked about being in the office of admission is a CCA because Yan Ling is one of our student ambassadors, and we have a team of student ambassadors that you can have access to on the website. You can have live chat with them, and they can share a lot more about their university life. And Bryan is also a student ambassador, so I was let Bryan introduce himself to all of you.
Hi everyone. So nice to meet everyone. My name is Bryan. I'm an SP alumnus. So I was studying diploma in chemical engineering. So because I continue studying chemical engineering in NUS, I have a 1-year direct exemption, which makes me a direct year 2 student in that sense. So yeah, like Yan Ling, I also volunteer. I volunteer very actively outside of school and in school. I stayed at Cambridge Hall, and I'm currently staying in PGP Hall, a Prince George Park residence. Not only that, during my 3 years, I'll also be going on an SCP, right, a student exchange program next September, next sem to Scotland. So looking forward.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. Okay, I think both Yan Ling and Bryan were from the Polytechnic, and actually I think that's one thing that Bryan has highlighted, and I should take this opportunity to emphasize. Now, the exemption from Polytechnic for students with Polytechnic qualifications, because your Polytechnic studies is actually 3 years. So NUS will give you exemption depending on the course of study that you had at Polytechnic versus the course of study you're going to study in NUS. But the exemption is at least 1 semester, or it could even be 1 year. So that your undergraduate degree that you can finish in 3.5 years or even 3 years. But of course, if you want to stay a little bit longer, you want to graduate with more than 40 modules, and you want to expand the scope, that is entirely up to you. We give you the flexibility. Now, the journey for Yan Ling and Bryan. Now, Yan Ling actually did biomedical science at the Polytechnic, and then after that, life sciences in the university. Bryan did chemical engineering at the Polytechnic, and then now doing chemical engineering at the university. So I'll let both of them comment about how is it like, how is the transition between Polytechnic and university. So I'll let Yan Ling talk about that, and then I'll ask Bryan to talk about why you continue to do chemical engineering from Polytechnic to university. So Yan Ling first, and then Bryan.
Okay, so generally I think being in poly has actually been very helpful, because in poly we have like final year projects, internships, and in fact the courses that we learn in poly, or the modules that we take in poly, are very much aligned in and specific to what we are studying. So for me, I was in biomedical science. So whatever that I was actually studying in poly really served as a foundation for me when I moved in, when I started uni, because a lot of things I could relate back to what I learned in poly. And especially helpful was the internships, because back in poly, when I had my internship in a lab, also in A-Star, I could gain a lot of lab skills and experiences that I thought was very helpful for me to transition into uni, and I could very much adapt very quickly. So I think the transition is quite smooth. Although I feel that, of course, in uni there'll be much more of a workload, much more things to juggle. But definitely what really helps from poly to uni, right, is that you have some kind of background and some kind of you already have some skills that you have picked up beforehand. So that is something that you can work on. And for those of you who are already who are already in poly now applying to uni, I feel that you can actually use these to your advantage, and even include some of these things in your aptitude-based admissions. You can include, you can talk about like certain internships and certain skills that you have picked up in poly, and this could be very helpful for your applications into the uni. Yeah.
I see. So Bryan, maybe you can tell us about why you choose that, because I think many of our students here, they are thinking about what to choose, and so maybe you can actually share your experience. I think that would be helpful.
Yeah. So for myself, maybe I'll share more of instead of adding, I'll just add on to what Yan Ling has just shared, right? I'll talk a little bit more about exemptions and how that actually also scoped. So I think it's important that everyone also do your own research. about what are the modules that you could maybe carry over or be exempted. Probably for business students, you will need to take advanced placement credits. For engineering students, you may or may not be granted automatic exemptions, so do check those out. So for myself, because knowing that I was able to get a year worth of exemption, which includes internship exemptions. So I didn't have to do an internship in for a semester. So I thought it was like, wow, I could just finish my studies in 3 years. And it's something I'm interested in because, you know, in poly, you already get experience the internships, right? So for myself, I interned at Shell. So I kind of like the environment of working in the chemical engineering industry. And that's why I actually decided to continue. And so yeah, do your research as well. If you always need to, you can always talk to students like us on the live chat function in NUS admission.
So basically, I think Yan Ling and Brian actually exemplified what I have just mentioned. Follow your passion, follow what you're good at, and then you will find your direction. That's for sure. Now, I think Brian has highlighted about internship. So, and we have a lot of internship opportunities for our student, and Yan Ling has done actually 2 internships in during her study in NUS. So, Yan Ling, would you like to tell us more about your internships?
Okay, yeah. So I did an internship last year, and the internship last year was actually for 2 months, and it's under this undergraduate professional internship program module. So actually, on top of doing an internship, like for my own personal development, I could also use it as a module to like fulfill it as a module for a semester, for 2 semesters. It's considered as a special term. So I did it during my summer break, which is which is actually 3 months long. So I did this internship for 10 weeks. Yeah. So I feel that this is actually quite useful. I think it's quite nice that NUS actually considers or allows students to do internships as part of a module. So you can kind of like kill 2 birds with a stone, because like you can help take the module as to fulfill your undergraduate requirements, and also at the same time gain much more skills, working experience, or even trying to find out more about what your research interest is, and that could actually help you in the future. So that was my previous internship, and my current one that I'm doing is part of the final year internship program. So it is going to be lasting for about 5 months, and from August to December. So both of my internships were in A-Star, so I've been A-Star for very long, and I've been trying out different labs. Yeah, so I think internships is very helpful. It helps you to know where your passion is, what is your research interest area is, and whether you like the industry that you're in. Yeah, so it's good to gain more exposure and join as many internships as you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I fully agree with what Yan Ling said. Actually, internship is very useful. And not only you get to know what kind of industry you want to work in, there's another added advantage, because all these things that you have learned in the classroom, you want to see how is it applied to the real world situation. You actually gain a different perspective. I'm sure Brian also noticed that from his Polytechnic internship, that it actually gives you a consolidation of your knowledge. After all, what I've emphasized is we want to give you disciplinary knowledge plus skill sets. How did the skill sets comes about? Internship is a key thing that enables you to do that. Now, let me change topic a little bit. And I know that some of you are exploring about campus accommodation. Now, I've highlighted the different types of campus accommodation, and I apologize that that was where my talk also frozen. So let Brian rescue me from that and tell us more about the campus accommodation. He has stayed in 2 different types. The traditional halls called Kenrich Hall, and the student residences, the Prince George Park residences. So I'll let Brian explain further that do something that I couldn't do just now. So Brian, please.
Yeah, thanks, Prof. Well, you're putting a lot of pressure on me, but it's quite yeah, okay, let me just share. So in my first year, I stayed at Kenrich Hall, and in my second year, I'm currently staying in Prince George Park residence. Yeah, both are very different type of accommodations. Maybe I'll just share with you what is similar first. So when you stay in accommodation, you are guaranteed like a personal space. So you have your own room, you have your own room, you have a study desk where you study, You have shared a toilet, shared use of a pantry, and then using a shared toilet. But what's different, I think, is what most of you are actually more looking out for. So in Cambridge halls, also halls in general, you require to be subscribed to a meal plan. So the meal plan will consist of breakfast and dinner. So these are already catered for in part of the accommodation fees. In PGPR, where I'm currently studying, this is not a requirement, and there is no subscription to a meal plan. For hall life, you are interested in more of a vibrancy in hall CCAs. That's where hall actually is excelled in. So they have hall CCAs in the cultural, in singing, in dancing, in cheerleading, in sports. You have soccer, ultimate frisbee, basketball, stuff like that. So if you are looking to join the school campus for more of a vibrant of a student hall life, then I think maybe hall is more suited for you. PGP also got its own strengths, right? If you are looking to make more international friends, a lot of international students come stay in PGPR. Not only that, they have also their own 24/7 psychology counselor. So if you ever need help or if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, there's 24/7 counselor that stays in PGPR where you can always look forward to. So,
thank you. Thank you. Pros and cons, very good. Yeah, I think it's very helpful that actually you have given all our participants here a snapshot of the university life. Now, due to time constraint, let me just answer the last question myself. And there was a question about, double degree program, double major program, major minor program that I spoke about so passionately at the beginning of the webinar. And then there were questions about how do we apply for this. Now, actually, to apply for all these double degree, double major, major minor program, after you have selected your 8 choices of your single degree program, all those that you can apply upfront, the portal will bring you to a page that you can select and rank your double degree, double major, major minor program. Now, and those are packaged nicely for you already. We give it to you at the point of admission, our commitment to you. But in reality, is that's not everything. That is not the only point of entry. Some students wanted to come in and see how they cope first. Then they applied for a double major or double degree or a minor. That is also possible. So we have 2 points of entries, either at the point of application or during your candidature. That is the first point. Second point, we actually put things together for you as a package. But is it possible that can I do my own packaging of double major, major minor? That is possible also. You can decide when you come in again. And we are fully flexible, and we don't lock the student in that just because you committed to do a second major, we'll lock you in. If along the way you discover that your interest change, you want to take the academic space and do something else, you can downgrade your second major to a minor, no problem. And or you say that you want to forgo that completely and you want to change to some other second major, that is also possible. We also allow you to upgrade. You start off with a minor, you see that I love it, I want to go further, upgrade to a second major. So all these are possible, that we are fully flexible because we want to give you a student-centric educational experience. Now, and I apologize again for the technical hiccups, but nevertheless, it's a pleasure to talk to all of you, and we certainly look forward to receiving your application. I'll pass the time back to Grace now. Yeah, Grace, please.
Thank you, Prof Goh, Yan Ling, and Bryan for sharing your experiences, insights, and sound advice. I hope they have managed to answer your questions and clarify your doubts. So with that, we have come to the end of the admission sharing and Q&A. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope this session has been helpful. We also greatly appreciate if you could take a few minutes to fill up a feedback form, and you may scan the QR code or access the link that we have shared in the chat board. So your feedback is important to us, so please let us know how we can improve. So thank you once again. My colleagues and I look forward to receiving your application and warmly welcoming you to NUS. Have a great day ahead. Goodbye.